Human beings are born innocent. If society shapes wrongdoing, why is the individual alone punished?
Human psychology naturally inclines a person toward wrongdoing. A person's innocence can be preserved through proper upbringing and compassionate education, which is their first and most fundamental right.
The responsibility for wrongdoing does not lie with the person who is naturally innocent, but with the family and society. Therefore, instead of punishment, the focus should be on upbringing based on compassionate education and on restoring the person's innocence through rehabilitation centers. In light of this reality, legal systems around the world should be reformed, and this perspective should be included in the curriculum of every educational institution and law school worldwide. In the same way, when we build a machine and it causes serious harm to people, we do not blame the machine. We hold the team that designed and built it responsible, and we send the machine back to a repair center to fix it. So why do we punish only human beings? If we do not punish animals for acting according to their nature, then why do we punish human beings? The future of humanity depends not only on technological advancement, economic growth, stronger governments, or stricter laws. It depends primarily on the quality of human beings. Every civilization, every religion, every philosophy, every psychological theory, and every successful society has ultimately relied upon one fundamental principle: developing better human beings. This article presents a perspective that challenges one of humanity's oldest assumptions, that punishment alone creates justice. Instead, it explores whether compassion, rehabilitation, and human development should become the primary foundation of modern civilization. Website: www.hamdardduniya.org www.compassionateworld.world. Human beings are products of their environment. Every child enters this world innocent. No child is born hateful, violent, corrupt, dishonest, or criminal. Human character develops gradually through family, education, social interaction, culture, life experiences, and the surrounding environment. If society plays a major role in shaping human behavior, then society cannot completely separate itself from the responsibility for the outcome. Modern justice systems generally ask one question: who committed the crime? Perhaps another equally important question should also be asked: what created the person who committed the crime? Unless both questions are answered, justice remains incomplete. Compassion is the first human right. Most societies consider food, shelter, healthcare, and education to be fundamental human rights. However, there is another right that may be even more important. Every human being has the right to compassionate upbringing. Children learn empathy from empathy. They learn kindness from kindness. They learn violence from violence. They learn compassion from compassionate people. Without compassionate education, society unintentionally produces individuals who struggle with anger, hatred, selfishness, and emotional instability. Compassion is therefore not merely a moral value, it is preventive social infrastructure. Why punishment alone cannot solve human problems? Punishment may discourage certain behaviors, but punishment alone rarely transforms human character. Many individuals leave prisons carrying more anger, resentment, trauma, and hopelessness than before. If the purpose of justice is to create a safer society, then restoring human beings should become as important as punishing harmful actions. This does not mean eliminating accountability. It means recognizing that lasting public safety requires both accountability and rehabilitation. Rehabilitation should include psychological healing,
compassion-based education, family counseling, emotional development, moral education, skills training, social reintegration. The objective should be to restore the individual whenever possible. The machine analogy. Imagine a company manufactures a machine. The machine later causes severe harm to thousands of people. Would society blame the machine? No. Investigators examine the designers, the engineers, the manufacturers, the safety inspectors, the maintenance system. The machine is repaired or redesigned. The system is improved. Future failures are prevented. Human development deserves similar attention. Likewise, animals act according to instinct. Society does not place animals on trial because they simply behave according to their nature. Human beings possess free will, but they are also profoundly influenced by childhood experiences, family environments, education, trauma, culture, and society. Therefore, justice should not focus exclusively on punishment while ignoring the conditions that shaped human behavior. The original purpose of religion. Nearly every major religion teaches compassion, honesty, justice, patience, forgiveness, generosity, humility, and service to humanity. Religious scriptures repeatedly encourage people to become better human beings. Unfortunately, many societies have gradually reduced religion to rituals, ceremonies, religious identities, and places of worship. Millions memorize scriptures. Thousands of religious institutions teach religious knowledge. Yet wars continue. Hatred continues. Corruption continues. Poverty continues. Violence continues. This suggests that religious education alone is not enough unless it transforms human character. The greatest purpose of religion is not merely to increase religious activity. Its greatest purpose is to cultivate compassionate human beings. History repeatedly shows that wherever sincere spiritual leaders promoted compassion, justice, honesty, and mutual care, societies experienced greater peace, trust, cooperation, and prosperity. Philosophy and psychology have been saying the same thing. Across history, philosophers and psychologists have reached remarkably similar conclusions. Human behavior develops through experience. Morality is cultivated. Compassion is developed. Unfortunately, many people study philosophy and psychology only to obtain degrees, rather than applying their knowledge to improve society. Knowledge without transformation produces very little change. Education should not merely inform minds. Nature also supports compassion. Nature itself demonstrates cooperation. Forests function through interconnected systems. Living organisms depend upon one another. Water, sunlight, soil, plants, animals, and ecosystems survive through balance rather than selfishness. Likewise, Earth's natural resources are abundant. The world has produced extraordinary wealth, technology, food, and knowledge. Yet millions continue to suffer. The problem is often not absolute scarcity. The problem is unequal distribution, driven by greed, corruption, conflict, and the absence of compassion. Without compassion, wealth naturally concentrates into fewer hands. With compassion, resources are shared more fairly, allowing greater opportunity for everyone. Reforming education and law. If compassion prevents crime better than punishment alone, then education should be redesigned accordingly. Children should learn emotional intelligence, compassion, conflict resolution, responsibility, cooperation, service to humanity. Similarly, law schools should teach not only criminal law and punishment, but also prevention, rehabilitation, restorative justice, human psychology, and compassionate governance. Future judges, lawyers, police officers, lawmakers, and government officials should understand both justice and human development. Legal systems should aim not only to punish crime, but also to reduce the conditions that produce crime. A compassionate world is a prosperous world. Peace cannot exist without compassion. Justice cannot survive without compassion. Prosperity cannot be sustained without compassion. The greatest investment any nation can make is not simply in military strength, economic development, or technological innovation. Its greatest investment is the cultivation of compassionate citizens. When compassionate people build families, they raise compassionate children. When compassionate teachers educate students, they create compassionate societies. When compassionate leaders govern nations, they reduce conflict. When compassionate legal systems focus on restoration alongside accountability, societies become safer and stronger. Prosperity is ultimately a human outcome before it becomes an economic outcome. About the author. Imran Noaman is an independent researcher, peace advocate, and founder of the Compassionate World Initiative. For more than 15 years, he has researched the relationship between compassion, human psychology, religion, education, law, governance, economics, and sustainable global prosperity. His research concludes that lasting peace and prosperity can only be achieved when the cultivation of compassion becomes the highest priority within families, educational institutions, legal systems, governments, and religious organizations. These findings are presented in his original work, Global Prosperity Research Theory 2026, which proposes that many of the world's major challenges, including crime, poverty, corruption, inequality, violence, social division, and conflict, share a common root cause: the failure to systematically cultivate compassion within human beings. According to Imran Noaman, humanity does not primarily suffer from a shortage of natural resources, technology, intelligence, or wealth. Instead, it suffers from a shortage of compassion. When compassion becomes the foundation of civilization, justice becomes more meaningful, prosperity becomes more inclusive, and peace becomes more sustainable. Imran Noaman invites educators, psychologists, philosophers, religious scholars, policymakers, legal professionals, governments, researchers, and citizens worldwide to examine these ideas critically and participate in an open global dialogue about building a compassionate world. His educational materials, research publications, and social initiatives are available through his official website and social media platforms. Those interested in learning more about the Global Prosperity Research Theory 2026 or collaborating on its further development are encouraged to contact Imran Noaman directly. Final thought. Humanity has spent centuries improving machines, buildings, technology, medicine, transportation, and communication. Perhaps the greatest challenge of the 21st century is not building smarter machines, but building better human beings. Because when human beings become compassionate, everything else begins to improve.